Hello and welcome. Now, it's very sad at the moment. Auckland's been hit with torrential rain, and I've never seen anything like it in the 57 years of my whole life. I've never seen anything like this. When I first saw torrential rain here in Istanbul, I thought, wow, this is really bad, because their roof plumbing doesn't go to the pipes that go out to sea. They just go directly to the roads or the footpaths. So when we have torrential rain here, all the rain from the roofs of all the buildings, there's 80 million people here, all the water just goes to the footpaths and roads, and it just floods everything. It's terrible. I mean, a lot of the newer buildings have the water that runs off the roofs into pipes, but there's a lot of older houses here. But yeah, and after 4 or 5 or 6 years later, I see this on New Zealand. Now, I didn't expect Auckland to be hit this bad. I mean, Auckland's built on 46 volcanoes, and it's very hilly, so you wouldn't expect to have much flooding, but we have a lot of flat areas, and through a lot of places like Howick and West Auckland and you name it, North Shore, it just devastated. Meters high in water, businesses, fields, houses that have fallen off the hills, bank erosions, trees falling down, and it goes all the way down to Coromandel and Waikato and further. So pretty much the top of the North Island got hit really bad, and it's still raining. And a lot of people have lost their homes, and a lot of people died, and wow, after seeing all the videos one after the other, I'm just thinking, wow, I didn't expect it to be that bad. So all my love to all my fellowship friends and family back home in Auckland. I wished I was there to help, but wow, it's absolutely devastating. It's really, really bad. But anyway, let's line the story. Let's do some drawing. But okay. Oh yeah, and one more other thing. The whole reason why this is all happening is because of the ecosystem. We need to act now and get rid of these fossil fuels. I don't know why we keep burning fossil fuels for. All for money, you know. Money, why, you know? If we had a world without money, this would be a lot better place. No one could be controlled. Everyone will be equally the same, you know. I give you my chickens, you give me some apples, so there's trading. Instead, there's people sitting with lots of money, making lots of interest, doing nothing. So they're not giving back to the planet. I mean, there's genuine people out there that give back and help people, but there's a huge amount of people that don't. And we need to all join in and help each other out, even if it's just doing good deeds to animals and planting trees or whatever. But we've got to stop burning fossil fuels. They can create cars on hydrogen fuel. I know they can, because I've seen lots of videos about it throughout the years. And whoever makes them, they disappear or they get brought out. So the fuel companies don't want anyone to make anything, because then they won't make any money. So they'd rather just burn the oil and destroy the planet and destroy our existence for money. Capitalism is terrible, really terrible. Anyway, let's get on with some drawing, and I'm going to take you back to when I was about 11 or 12. My mother and my grandmother, well, my grandmother used to stay with us quite a lot, and we would walk from Remuera down to Iraqi along Mission Bay to Auckland ferry building, and it would take miles and hours just to get there. And then we'd take the ferry, the old ferries of course, across to Devonport. Now I've done a drawing of a ferry and on Instagram, so if you want to see what a Auckland ferry used to look like, I've drawn one on my Instagram homepage. So we'd get to the other side and then we'd walk again to the other side, to the point of Devonport, which is a big hill, and we used to stay on this beach right under this putukawa tree. And I saw an old photo, well not old, recent, you know, maybe 5 or 6 years old, and the putukawa tree's still there. So I'm going to be drawing that from the other view. I can't remember what it looks like, so I'm just going to try and remember it as much as I can when I saw it as a child, and I'm going to draw it for you on a piece of paper. But during World War II, they dug lots of tunnels in this hill and put cannons everywhere because they thought we were going to be invaded. Because in Darwin, Australia, their capital, or Northern Territory, which is Darwin, I believe, don't get me wrong if I'm wrong, they got invaded by Japan during World War II, and the whole place got devastated. So Auckland, or New Zealand, took action and started building these tunnels everywhere, and apparently they can go for miles. I've heard they can go from all the way under the water to different points of Auckland. In fact, you can go from Mount Wellington, which is a volcanic crater underground, and go all the way into Auckland. I don't know how they did it because volcanic rock is very hard to drill through. But I'm going to draw you a picture of this, and yeah, so it's going to be exciting. And thank you again for being here. Now, I don't have a battery for my laptop, so I'm going to be doing my video from my phone, so the quality is not going to be the same, meaning you won't get to see the intro in there and all the music that I normally put in the background. The program in which I use, I can put music on there, but I can't select my own music. So I can only select the music that they give me from my phone. So I guess I can't complain. And thank you again for all your comments and for being here. So let's get on with it. I'm talking too much. Tell me if you would like these videos to be shorter or longer. If you want them shorter, I'll make them shorter. But you need to write it in the comments box so I know. So here we go. So here we go. I'm going to be using pen. Now, the lighting today is terrible. I've got the window open and it's very cloudy and we haven't had much rain, so we're praying for rain. Hey look, I've got a light on the end of this. I'll turn it off because it's you can't see very well with that light on. Maybe you can, I'm not sure. Okay, so I'll be drawing on my pad, and this is just a imaginary drawing of an event that I had experienced when I was a child. So let's try and draw this. Should I draw it from looking at it from the side of the tree? So I'm trying to get my perspective right. I'm trying to figure out where should I draw this. I could draw from any view, looking at the hill, looking from the hill down to the beach. So maybe I can divide it into 4. I've done that before. Or I should do one picture. It's hard. Okay, so I've got no reference picture in front of me. So hill. Okay, let's start this. I know there was a path. Is this pen working? Yes. I've got my cat with me. There was this path, and I liked it because it was very tidy. This path, if you walk this way, it used to go around the edge, right next to the water. There's this shop, or these shops, and they're built right on the edge of the water. And the path walks along the edge. It looks like you're walking on the water. It's really cool. So the beach is something like this. Maybe if someone from Auckland's seen this, they'll probably know where I'm talking about. Now, along here are houses. So I'm going to imagine this as a fence. Now this finishes around about here. Something like that. And there were some seats here. Like that. And there were some trees. I'll just do one Putakawa tree here. They have amazing root system. They've got these roots that are big, and they've got a lot of characteristics in these trees. And they have these like bottle brush flowers. They're similar to the bottle brush, but the flowers are different. And they come out every year in December. And we call it our Christmas tree because the trees are thick in green leaves, lots of little green leaves, and lots of bright red flowers. So it looks like a Christmas tree. So I won't draw all the flowers in there. Now I've done a Putakawa flower on my Instagram page, so you can see what it looks like on there, or you can just look it up. Now we'd come to this beach now and then, and would sit underneath this Putakawa tree here by the water. So here's the water here. So I just do the waves. This is the beach, so it's high tide at the moment. Like that. And we would sit. This is just a rough sketch. I could do probably a better tree than this. But it's a rough sketch. And we would sit here on a blanket, and there'd be three of us, and we'd be eating boiled eggs and chicken sandwiches, scones, whatever was made, we took it with us. Both my mother and my grandmother aren't with me anymore, so it's very sad. I miss them both very dearly. But I do remember lots of moments with them. I hope one day we meet again. So I'll just put a and we'd have a thermos with tea and boiled eggs sometimes, or salad, or yeah. And after we've eaten, I would then go off for my adventure up on the hill. I'll draw that soon. So Devonport was something like this. Hope you can see that. And there's two ways of getting there. You could walk up the bank here and across. Up the top is just grass area. This is all grass area here. But you could walk up, and it's quite steep. You could walk up the top here, or you can walk around the water edge here, where all the rocks were, and just do some rocks here. And if it's a high tide, there's no way you could walk around. But on a low tide, you can. So you can walk around quite nicely. And then once you get around, you can walk around. But all through this hill, all these caves, so soldiers could go from one point to the other, and they would have cannons and shelters. So I'll just draw them here. And I'd walk from this point here and walk all the way around. So just imagine it was this shape like this. So I'll just do some cliffs here like that. And I can't believe the weather they've been having in Auckland. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. So, and there's a little sandy part, so this goes around like that and comes back. So this is grass area here, and then there's properties. I guess these places will be flooded out. I can just imagine. So these are little sand areas through here. It's coming together, isn't it? Sometimes when I think a picture's not going to work out, I sort of want to give up, but I just keep drawing because sometimes it comes together, and if it doesn't really matter. It's only a demonstration. Let's do this tree a bit bigger. In fact, these trees are quite big. The older they are, the bigger they get, and the root system gets bigger, and they tend to travel. They're very deep, very strong trees. And they love the coastal. You see putukawas normally around the coastal of the coasts of New Zealand, all around New Zealand, but you don't see them inland, only near the beaches. You won't see them by lakes or anything. Strange, eh? So, still playing? Yeah. So yeah, I'd travel all the way through there. And on the other side, there's this massive gun. So I'm going to draw it from this side. But it used to be and have it was on a track, and it's in a cave. But this will be on the other side, okay? It was up the top, something like that. And these caves were everywhere. I'll draw another one just here. But they're all blocked off now. But when I was a child, a lot of them were open, and I could climb down and get down and walk around. And there were some rumours of a seaplane. They used to have a seaplane in a cave along the bottom here. In fact, there was a documentary I saw years ago that this bloke remembered seeing a cave with some seaplanes in there. When he went back to investigate, he couldn't see them. It's like they've blocked it off or they've covered it up with trees so you can't see it. So there's no access to it. And he remembered it. But in Waiheke, they have the same. There's some houses up here now. Army houses. And there's you can get it from the top. You can access it from the top in your car, and just park your car in the car park that's at the top here, or you can walk up the top, or walk from this beach up the top here. But like I said, it was very steep. And yeah, they couldn't find this plane. And when they went and had a look in the records, and had a look, there was no record of it. Apparently there's still got a lot of ammunition and bombs and stuff still hidden in these caves. I guess that's why they've blocked it all off, just in case there's a reenacting of it again. So they're getting prepared, make it all ready again, just in case. Maybe, don't know. But in Waiheke, which is an island over in this direction, they've got caves similar to this that go down 100 feet. And down the bottom, there's these huge rooms with generators, and they're all flooded. We're in a couple meters of water. And the tunnel system is huge. I don't know how they built this tunnel system in this short amount of time. And put generators down there. It's incredible. There's these shafts, like holes with ladders going all the way down, or you can go down these stairs. So, but over here, I'll do Rangitoto. Rangitoto. Rangitoto means red sky. The Maori name, Rangitoto, means red sky. Because when it erupted, the sky was red. Do some clouds. Seagulls. Okay, lots of seagulls. Now, this is grass area here, and this is I think it's a tar seal path. But when it comes to the other side, near the shop, it's all tongue groove floors, or like a decking. That's why I liked it, because it was very cool. Because you're walking along. When I was walking along my bare feet, I was standing on stones, but when I hit this part here on the wooden part, it was really soft on my feet, and I guess that's why I liked it. And this is all grass area here. It's all grass. What's the name of this grass called? I'll try and think of it and I'll tell you what it is. It's very tough grass and it grows. It's like a vine. And they love being by the beach. It spreads. So lots of grass. And I'll put a rubbish bin in here. Be a tidy Kiwi. Okay. I hate going to places where there's picnic areas and places to eat, but there's just no rubbish bins anywhere. So people just leave their rubbish wherever they eat and just walk away. And the place is full of rubbish. And you wonder, how can anyone sit there and have a nice picnic where there's rubbish everywhere? I just can't understand. People have no respect for nature. In fact, I've done a few videos, but I haven't posted them because I know what I'll get. All these people, angry people, probably think you're putting a country down, blah blah blah. So I don't want to do that. But everyone knows what I'm talking about. Doesn't matter where we are in the world. I see it everywhere. But when Benna and I go out or go anywhere, we always take our rubbish back in the car and then separate it, recycling and whatever. Okay, so here's the beach. Here's the shores. And this is like a little sandy area here. And there's always, I don't know, lots of rocks, and it wasn't a very clean area because I think a lot of the road, the soot from the roads, the downwater system from the banks and everything goes into here, so the sand was quite black and dirty, so it wasn't clean. Runoff of water from the hills. So Rangitoto is a volcano, and we have 46 volcanoes in Auckland, all dormant. Okay, so they're not alive. But if one did come back, I might as well say goodbye to Auckland because they're huge. This one's huge. Let's pray it doesn't. But on the other side is massive lava caves, which I've never seen, but I've seen pictures. Anything else about this? Let's do some more hills, maybe some trees up here. There are lots of trees along here. It's a beautiful place. Very, very nice. And would come here all the time. And this is the one of my favourite places. I used to go and venture out and explore. I mean, back in the 80s and 70s, children would go and do anything. You couldn't do that today. No, too many crazy people today. Certainly not safe. Sad, really. So there's some trees on the banks. Just a sketch. I'll do some trees here like that. Some bushes, heapies in there. And I'll do another, maybe a car park here like this. I don't want to put a car park, let's put a tree there instead. Better than a car park. A tree there. One there. And this is someone's property. So I'll put a Put a house or a shed here. Something like that. Very nice properties. One thing I like about New Zealand, I love their houses. They have this Victorian design about them, or Art Deco, all made of wood or stone, but mostly wood, native wood or pine. I'll put a boiler out here. The boiler was something we used to do our washing in. Before we had washing machines or wringers, you put your clothes inside it and there's a fire and you light it and you boil the water, and with a stick you turn your clothes and then put it for a wringer, like a washboard. And once washing machines and wringers were invented, these normally went outside and people made incinerators out of them. It was a good way to burn your rubbish. And each house had a 1/4 acre section. So you could have a nice garden in your section. 1/4 acre is a lot of land for a property in Auckland. But a lot of people are selling their properties and putting other houses on there, so the land that we used to have is disappearing because people are profiting off their land and selling it to the developers to put houses there. So if you look outside, you'll probably see 3 or 4 neighbours on your piece of land, which is not everywhere, of course, just in certain places. But having that freedom to be able to grow your own vegetables and walk around in your bare feet on the grass and mow the lawns, maybe have some chickens, it's wonderful, wonderful feeling. So there you go. So that's Devonport, and it's a putukawa tree. There's no flowers in it today, so it's not Christmas time. Just a rough sketch. So there you go. So there we go. Devonport, and where I used to go when I was a child. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll do another upload soon. But if you've got any suggestions, please write in the comments box below. And thank you so much for leaving comments, and it's great reading them. And if you get a heart from me, it means I read your comment. And have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Bye now.